what it actually controls. So smooth muscle, cardiac muscle glands. We're pretty good there. We have those afferent and efferent neurons. We spoke about that as well. Yeah, we did all that stuff, right? Myelinated, unmyelinated. We compared the two, autonomic and the somatic. I think we're pretty good up to right about here, I think, is where we sort of left off. I think we did this from before, like way back when, some other chapters, and we drew the picture out, we did all the sensory stuff, we did the motor, then with the visceral motor, we divided it into the sympathetic and parasympathetic division. One thing we haven't talked about though is this dual innervation thing here at the very bottom, which basically says this. Here's like a great little thing for you too. We'll come back and do this as well. I actually have two ways to control these organs, meaning like this. If I'm controlling my heart, so I have one pathway that goes to my heart over here, and I can have a second pathway that goes to my heart over here. So basically it's saying this. I can have a parasympathetic control over that organ, and I can have a sympathetic control over that organ. So they call that dual innervation, when I have two things that are controlling an organ. So one's the parasympathetic, the other one's the sympathetic. So what do you think the sympathetic will do to that organ? Increase that activity. And the parasympathetic will decrease it, sort of slow it down. So it makes sense to have two ways to control those organs that are out there. So just know by definition that dual innervation is just that. I have two ways to control those organs. Guys, right? One's sympathetic, the other one is parasympathetic. So that's pretty easy, I think. That's an easy slide for you. Just I'm trying to just like hit the basics here. One speeds it up, the other one slows it down. So that's good to know. Which one speeds it up again? That's the sympathetic, right? Okay, we're good there. Alrighty, so speed up, slow down, we're good. And here's some crazy pictures for you. I'm not sure if you guys can actually see those that well, because they're pretty teeny tiny on here. But this actually is showing you that dual innervation thing. And so you can see all the blue stuff, right? All my blue lines going to like heart, and lungs, and liver, and all the internal viscera over here. That's all my sympathetic side. And then here are those same organs over here, right? And it's done by the parasympathetic over here. So what do you see as like sort of different? Let's talk like where those nerves are coming from. Well, here's one of the things. We're going to find here from T1 down to L2, that's my sympathetic side. So this could be T1, that's my first thoracic, and all those little nerves that are pulling off, and it goes all the way down to L2 down here. So all that stuff is sympathetic. So pulling off the cord from those levels, T1 to L2. I have a slide for this later for you too, but it's from T1 to L2. What about my parasympathetic stuff? It's all that cranial nerve things. I have cranial nerve number 3, number 7, number 9. So we have that going on. So cranial nerves. Yeah, I have 3, 7, 9, and 10. And also, way down here, coming off my sacrum, I have S2, S3, and S4 for the sacrum, right? So S for sacrum through here. Those are my parasympathetic levels, if you will. So, if you want to like, again we're going to go through that one more time, but so sympathetic, my nerve would come from T1 through L2, and then my parasympathetic, my nerves would come from those cranial nerves, 3, 7, 9, 10, and sacral segments, S2, S3, and S4. Okay, sound pretty okay? So we're just pulling off a different level, right, going to those same organs. You guys remember what the vagus nerve did? Or like the vagus nerve is the laundry nerve, right? It covers, yeah, like everything, right? We said sort of wanders like heart, lungs, all that good stuff. Okay. All right, so, yep, questions?
What did you call that?
Oh, this is the levels.
Just the last nerve.
Vagus nerve, yeah, number 10. Cranial nerve number 10 is the vagus nerve. 3 is the oculomotor. 7 is facial, 9, right, so those ones we already learned. Yeah, so those are them. So we'll come back and we'll see those again in like a minute or two. I'm just going to show you there's some different levels for the different innervations. Okay, and here are some things you might see during a sympathetic, right, response for us. And we said before it goes to increase everything, increase heart rate, increase respiration, make your pupils dilate, all that good stuff. But it's not just emergencies that we're going to see these little things will kick in, but also during exercise. During exercise, your heart rate goes up, right? Respiration goes up, your pupils get bigger. Same response. When you're excited, what happens? Same thing, right? Could you breathe more heavily? Heart rate increases, that sort of thing. And also if you're embarrassed. So they call these E situations, if you will. So everything that starts with an E, so emergencies, exercise, embarrassment, excitement. So I would know those. There's always a question or two on, which one would have a sympathetic response, which one would have a parasympathetic response. So anything that would elevate heart rate and blood pressure and all those good things. So you can probably just think about it and figure them out. So those are good. So we know those for sure. And then we're going to have, same thing, right? So here's what's going to happen in the body. So it happens during those times, so here's what's going to happen. Vigorous physical activity, rapid production of ATP. We're talking about taking glycogen and breaking it down to glucose to make more fuel for the body. So that would be good to know, right? We're going to do a little glycogen to glucose conversion. Because again, we need more fuel for the body for the muscular activity and all that good stuff. So we can say a little glycogen, convert that to glucose. And with the glucose, we can make energy, right, in the form of ATP. So that makes good sense because we're going to burn tons of ATP, right? If we're like physically active, that sort of thing, right? Exercise, emergencies, we have to have that fuel. You good for that one? That's pretty easy, right? So we're good there. Next one we have, here's what we're going to see physically on the body, right? We're going to break down fuel here for us. Your pupils will dilate, which means they get larger, right? They get bigger. And why would your pupils get bigger during a sympathetic response, do you think? So you can see more, right? So you have bigger pupils, you get more information coming in. So that's like a natural response on that one. Hey, what happens to your pupils if you see somebody that you like? They get bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
They get bigger, right? So that actually is like the thing. So if you see somebody you like, your pupils get really big. So how does they get small? And they probably don't like you so much, right? Don't like you. So anyway, so pupils dilate, heart rate increases, blood pressure increases. So again, preparing the body for those exercise times, right, emergency times. Airways allow more air to enter the lungs, so they dilate as well. That's pretty good. What about blood flow to your kidneys and your digestive tracts? Yeah, we're going to shut that down because, yeah, we don't really care about like digesting food and urinating, whatever, if you're like running for your life, right, that sort of thing. So we're going to shut down anything that's not essential for like muscular activities. So we'll shut down your digestive tract, shut down the kidneys, all that good stuff. How about people that are like stressed out all the time? That's like a sympathetic thing, right? Like kids, jobs, whatever, you're always stressed out. So your sympathetics are sort of kicking in like all day long sort of thing. How's their digestion usually for people that are stressed? Not so good, right? Because that's why your little sympathetic system's working 24/7. It doesn't allow you to process your food because it shuts down all the blood flow to it, and you get all sorts of nasty things happening like that. All right, so we're pretty good there. Yeah, I said release glucose from glycogen. We did that already. So that's good. Just know those few little things. So pupils get bigger, heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, right? More oxygen. What about the other side now, the parasympathetic stuff? Well, does just the opposite, right? So we're going to shut down all those things that aren't really required for like normal everyday functioning. So here it's going to restore body energy, right, during times of rest. We're going to increase digestion. We're going to, what's going to go into? What's going to add to that one? Repair, right? So we can like repair our tissues. So I always call it like the rest, repair, recovery phase, like rest, repair, recovery. Like all my R's. So rest, repair, recovery. So this is your parasympathetic during times of rest. We're going to repair all those tissues that have been damaged, and basically the body is in a recovery phase. So rest, repair, recovery.